Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Gabe Plays Minecraft All the Mods 9 to the Sky. Last episode we finished building this pretty sweet mecha suit for ourselves, and the way we were able to do that is by getting polonium and plutonium from the big reactor's nuclear waste. Just back here with this kind of waste management setup over here. Oh, we got some guys back here. We also put a wall up, and I think I didn't light up the wall at the top, so I think some of them are spawning and then falling down. But yeah, this over here is giving us polonium and plutonium. Although, why is this not working? Output? There we go. Not sure why that wasn't working, but it is now. Oh, this one's also not working. I think the inputs are not set up right. Come on, Gabe. There we go. But yeah, so we set that up to handle the waste from the reactor, which is, just running like normal. I think this episode, I do want to eventually get to the big induction cell that I talked about last episode. But we're still waiting a bit on the resources to be made. We're almost there, I'd say. I'd say we'll probably get there by the end of this episode. And so, in the meantime, I want to do some cleanup. Yeah, we're like almost there for redstone. Same with lithium, iron, and gold. I think we'll get there by the end of this episode, hopefully. But in the meantime, I wanted to clean up some loose ends. In our base, basically just some things that I've been noticing are lacking, namely some like core resource production. So we don't have any way to get ender pearls right now, and I could make a mob farm, but right now I think I'd rather automate just endstone creation. And the way you can do that is just by putting lava and glowstone in a barrel. We have like the lava production downstairs, and we have like 9 million glowstone, so I think we'll be covered. So I just like to set up like a steady stream of endstone production, and then start crushing and sifting this, and then from that we can get skulk shriekers, echo shards, ender pearls, eye of ender, chorus fruit, all that kind of stuff. And I think with the skulk shriekers, if I'm not mistaken, we can work towards fighting the warden, which would be cool. Other thing that I've been missing for a while is blaze rods, which I have here in my inventory now. The way I was able to get those is that I was like in the nether for a bit, and I was gonna farm some magma slimes, but then I realized that in the nether, in All the Mods 9, it's kind of loud in here with all the guys. We actually do have like nether fortresses spawning. So I just flew over to this one with the jetpack that we have now, with the mecha suit, and I just took some of their spawners. I grabbed them using the cardboard boxes from Mechanism, which are pretty cheap, just these guys, and then with those you can just right click any sort of entity, and like entity block like a spawner, and pick it up and then place it. So over here we've got 2 cardboard boxes with blaze spawners in them, and so I think also I want to set up some blaze production, so I think I'll either put 2 here or 1 here and 1 here, like just like kind of mob farm spawners with maybe some fans to push them into spikes or something, to just start killing blazes and getting blaze rods for us, because a lot of like mods use blaze rods as like one of the upgrade tiers. And then something that I've already done down here is in the back corner here, I just set up pretty simple lava production, or obsidian production. So all these magma crucibles produce lava from the cobblestone, and then that lava all goes into these blast chillers, which then turns that lava into obsidian. Just like this, it just gets used and turned into obsidian. So that's just like a steady supply of obsidian. I think eventually, we can upgrade those machines. But I'll probably do an episode dedicated to thermal expansion stuff. And then over here we have the wall of ice, the glacier I like to call it. where we just have a bunch of these atomizers going and compactors going, and we're just producing like a steady stream of ice. It's a row of 64, so we should just like every so often just get 64 of them, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. First step I think I'm gonna work on doing is the Endstone production, just producing Endstone and then crushing it automatically. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll show you guys my setup. Okay, here is the Endstone setup. I've got one max cobblestone generator here, pumping cobble out to a bunch of crucibles that are just generating lava. And then it also ports cobblestone into this row of flux hammers and sieve, all the way down to dust, to then just sieve for glowstone. That chest there, everything that isn't glowstone just gets pumped into this trash can because we get it elsewhere. And then the glowstone comes out this one cable here because it's a whitelisted glowstone. Everything else is blacklisted glowstone. It comes out of this guy here, up and over and into this barrel, which gets pumped full of lava, and then that lava gets turned into endstone with the glowstone. That just ends up in the flux hammer here, which then goes into the flux sieve here, which then just goes in this bamboo chest, which is just a little buffer for the materials, and then it goes back into the system. So now if we look, we should have like a decent, I mean, it's not too fast right now. I think something that's limiting it is the lava production. But I think I can try and find something better than just lava blocks to put under this to heat it up faster. We might have access to something like that now. But yeah, now we have ender pearls. Like I said, it's a little slow right now because of that lava limitation, but I can hopefully speed it up. And the other thing that we got from it was the stuff from the warden. We'll see if we maybe have some of that. What was it called? The Skulk Shrieker. Yeah, we have one so far. So I don't know. I can't remember how much we need. I haven't played the warden much in Minecraft, but we'll see. So yeah, that's the Endstone production. I might just do some research quick to see if we can speed up the lava production. Alright, if we look at the porcelain crucible here and look at the uses of it by right clicking, we can look at the heat sources here. So we could get uranium blocks, and the only thing better than that is dark matter blocks, which I think are fairly late game for us. We need aluminium and durium. Okay, basically the only thing limiting us from this is the aluminium, which I want to work towards eventually, but we're not there yet. So the next best thing is superheating elements, which we use for those boilers, and luckily when I made like 1,000 of them or something, we had leftovers. So I'm gonna switch all the lava with these superheating elements, and I think it should be 60 times 3 times, so it should be 20 times faster for lava production. So I'm gonna do that, and then hopefully this will be less limited by the lava. Excuse me. Okay guys, it's now very quick with the superheating elements, and I've even gotten to the point where I've made 4 barrels instead of just the 1 barrel, and now we're like going through about 7 crushed endstone per like cycle or whatever. So it's going a bit faster now. We're definitely getting more resources, so that's good. I think that's like sufficient for now. It's just a good passive setup. I don't think we have like a massive demand for these resources right now, and if we do later, then I'll just expand this. I think like we're not getting held back by glowstone. It's mainly just, I think, lava. So if the more lava we make, the more barrels we can put down, and the more endstone we can work through. But yeah, that's pretty successful. That's a little endstone setup. I think now the next thing I'm gonna work on is the blaze farms. So I'll probably put them somewhere around here. I want to use the tinted glass from Minecraft and have them kind of visible, just so they look kind of cool. So I'll try and come up with a design for that, and then I'll show you guys what I got. Okay guys, I've got a very basic setup here going. I've just got the 2 spawners set up, and then I've got these mob mashers from mob grinding utilities underneath them. It's basically just all these mob mashers, and then I've got the redstone blocks underneath them to make it so that they're just all powered. And then I have accumulators. absorption hoppers underneath, and these pick up items and XP. That gets collected by the system over there. It goes in. Oops. And then I made a fluid disk dedicated to holding the XP. So now in our system, if we go in and look, I've got 7,000 buckets of XP. And if I want to access any of that XP, I made this XP drain tank from mob grinding utilities as well with a XP tap. So if I want, I can just gain some of that XP. But you know, I'm at 304 from breaking furnaces and stuff like that, so I don't really need it. But if we ever do, if I die or whatever, we start like doing more enchanting stuff or something, then it's there if we need it. So now we've got a steady supply of blaze rods. So I think I'm gonna try to quickly upgrade the emerald furnaces, because I think now that we can go to the blaze version, we can go from the blaze one or the obsidian one to the netherite one, which we'll need some soul sand for, so I'll check how we get that. And then the only step after that is all the modium, so we'll get there. But I'm going to quickly just upgrade all our furnaces, and then we'll work on our next little resource here. Alright, if you can't tell from my level, I just destroyed all of our old emerald furnaces and replaced them with netherite furnaces in the base. This one up here too, and the ones that we had set up for the ultra fast ME system storage makers. So yeah, it took a little bit to get them, because I also wanted to set up like them automatically here in the system. And what you need to make the netherite furnace is, one second, you need soul sand, and we didn't have any way of getting soul sand. And so the way you get soul sand, I just search it here real quick, is by mixing witch water with sand in a barrel. So let me just sleep here quick. So I did a setup for that. I also realized that we should automate our dirt setup, although I ran into some issues that I'll get to. But yeah, over here we have a cobblestone generator, which is just using a flux hammer to make a bunch of sand. And then over here we have a bunch of barrels on mycelium, which you get from mycelium spores from sifting dirt, if you don't remember from episode 2, maybe. But yeah, so we just pump water in from the sinks, which some of these got broken because I had a giant mushroom grow like that. It's kind of annoying. Every time I crouch to do stuff, it does that basically. But stop, please. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, so the water gets pumped in from these sinks into the barrels, and then over time the water in them turns into witch water because of the mycelium beneath. That witch water all then gets pumped out through these fluid pipes with filtered to witch water into these 8 barrels here, which then get the sand just pumped into them, and they become soul sand, as you see. And then the soul sand ends up in this chest, which gets pulled into the ME system. And then back over here we have a very similar setup, but instead of making soul sand, I'm just pumping all the witch water into the system in case we need it for something else later down the road. And then yeah, this is my dirt setup. If you remember from when we made the nature island over there, I just moved it over here. It's 25 oak barrels set up to just pump organic material into them, and then they sucks the dirt out. Right now I'm just pumping sea pickles because I get a lot of those from some of our flux sifting, but don't really have a use for them. But they can go into the barrels. The problem I ran into with these guys is that when I had a advanced pipe upgrade into this extraction here, what I found through probably an hour of troubleshooting is that when these would all empty at the same time, it would just rapid dump items into these barrels, and it would cause these huge lag spikes. It would just be 6 in a row every time, guaranteed, just crazy lag spikes. And it was just really annoying me, and I was worried why is this happening, what have I done? So I ended up I was watching the lag spikes happen on this screen. When you hit Alt F3, you can see in the bottom left the frame rate counter, and I could see the lag spikes happening. Here, I'll although I don't really want to, I'll set it to do it. Yeah, so you see those lag spikes right there of it just pumping into the oak barrels. What I did is I was flying around in hover mode in this jetpack, and I was trying to find the range at which those spikes are happening. So I was like, flew over here, and boom, you see those spikes right there. And then I found like the limit of where they, when I got to like somewhere over here, like 4,180x, the spikes went away. Oops. And then when I went all the way down this way, then the spikes, I also waited to see where the spikes would go away at. And it was something like I wrote it down. I had paper and I was trying to figure it out. 4070, something like this. And yeah, I just like did the math and found the number in between those, and came down to my like workshop area, and I realized that it was these oak barrels right here. And I kind of watched them. You can see they just like pump up immediately, and then those lag spikes hit. So as soon as I took this out, lag spikes went away. It started just like filling at a slower pace. So yeah, that was a whole debacle of mine that made making some soul sand production and just upgrading the furnaces take a lot longer, because I got super worried about our world here. Okay, so now that we have all those things set up, something that I'm noticing since we could quadrupled our resource production is that our ME drives are getting filled up, even though we're using the 1 million mega drives. So now what I want to move towards is like the final drive size, which is 256 million storage component. And we've unlocked this now because it takes matter balls, which I've had the system just making like on repeat from just exporting cobblestone. So I actually made it's called a infinity cobblestone cell from Extended AE. So you just like put it in there, and now you've got infinite cobblestone. It's pretty convenient for just having a resource to just throw away. So now I just like export cobblestone into here, and it's been making matter balls for a while now. So we get the matter balls. We've got 400,000 of them. And then the other thing we need for these cells is ender dust, which you get from inscribing ender pearls. So we can do this now because we have a steady stream of ender pearls coming into our system from the Endstone that we've been sifting. So I'm going to just set that up in our super fast applied energistics like crafting area over there, just making the ender pearls in our inscribers. And then I'm going to add the formulas or the patterns for each of these mega storage components. And then I'm going to make probably a significant amount of these 256 million mega storage components if I can. So yeah, let me just do that. Okay, so I was doing a bit of research on how I could optimize our storage, and while I still want to make the 256 drive just, you know, as an accomplishment, I don't think it's the best, most optimal way to store things. With the Mega Cells mod pack, we actually have access to the Mega Bulk Storage component, which can only hold one type of item in it, but from what I can find, I don't know if there's a limit, but if there is, it's like supposedly really, really large. But what this allows you to do as well, in combination with these compression cards, is if you let me grab one. If you take one and you put it in the cell workbench, you can then apply the compression card to it, and then let's say I partition it to hold gravel 9x. Then anytime I pump in any like gravel at all, it'll just auto compress that as much as it can up to this level here. And then all we have to do in order to like use those items again is use mega decompression module. So you would like connect it to your network like a import bus or something, and then put the ME drive on it. And then if I need for auto crafting iron ingots, but I only have 9x compressed iron blocks, it'll like craft those down quickly for me to iron ingots for the recipe, so that I can like use those in the recipe. So I've made those bulk storage disks, but we need to now like get our items from this system out of these like storage disks and into those bulk storage disks. So what I set up down here is just like a mass like item transfer thing where we've got export buses all on these chests here. Right now I'm doing the coal, and then on the other side we have import buses all on the chests. And then I've set up like a little pseudo ME system just with these drives in here, and you can see we're pumping in the coal right now, and it's turning into coal blocks. So like I said earlier, when we pump in the coal here, this will then accept it and automatically bulk it into blocks. And this works for like a lot of different compressions. So redstone blocks, here's a compressed dust, there's 9x gravel, 9x sand, grains of infinity you can't compress. Same with fluorite and glowstone. Here's bone for the bone meal, prismarine shards, cactus, skystone, blaze, kelp, amethyst. And then over here we start to get into a bunch of the 9x ones. 9x diamond, 9x iron, 9x gold, 9x aluminum, lead, blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna just be like in the background, I'm gonna have this transfer machine going. Once we like use all the gold or the coal in the system for the most part, then I'll put the bulk storage guy into the system, and then all the coal going forward should go into that partition cell because it has preference to partition cells, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so that's like I think a much more efficient way of using our storage than just making 256 items. Instead, we should just be compressing all of our items where we can and using those bulk storage items. Alright, the last thing we are waiting for the induction cells is the gold. So what I've gone ahead and done is kind of like a half solution to increasing gold output. So if you take the gold ore and you could chemically inject it with hydrogen chloride, which would make 4 gold shards, 4 gold clumps, 30 gold dust, all the way to gold dust, so you'd be quadrupling it. But I don't know if I have the patience right now to set this whole thing up just to quadruple a gold. Just for this one huge thing, we'll probably never need that much gold again, I would suspect. That's a lot of gold. So instead, what I'm doing is just porting the gold into an enrichment chamber that just doubles it right there for gold dust. And then now we're smelting gold dust. So what I set up down over here is just 10 enrichment ultimate enriching factories. And they are just doubling our gold ore for us whenever we get it. And then I switched all the export buses on the furnaces to, instead of having gold ore, having gold dust. So now we'll just double it first and then we'll smelt it. So we should be able to close out on the gold that we need before this episode. Just a quick note I wanted to make here that I just found out is, in order to connect these extended drives with the decompression modules, the decompression module has to connect to the ME drive, and you need to connect the ME drive with the cable. So the decompression module is what allows it to like craft, I guess, and then this actually connects the drive to the system. And then, for example, this is the coal one here. Excuse me. What we did is I pumped all the coal into that guy in that like transfer thing downstairs. But then I pulled it out and put it in here, and then we got some coal. But in order to make sure that the coal that we generate doesn't go back into random drives in the system, what I did is and I'm not sure if this is completely necessary, but I set the priority to the decompression module to 1,000, and on the ME drive as well to 1,000. So that way, like, all these other guys are just default, I think, like 0, and this is 1,000, and that's what gets this coal to now the number is going down slowly because we're still generating, but slowly, and then all these coal block variants are going up slightly. And also, yeah, for these I'm using the ME extended drive, which is from the AE, I think it's, let me just search drive. It is from the extended AE mod, which just has a bunch of additions like those extended pattern providers that we've been using and stuff like that. So yeah, just something I wanted to note so it's clear, so if you guys try this, you don't run into the same issues I did. Okay, I have now set 2,000 induction cells to be made here. We were still a bit short on gold, so I did like half of the 4,000 that we needed. I also, over here in the big reactor room, I set up like just like the skeleton structure, the bones of the induction cell in this back left corner over there. So I made all the providers, which is just like one top layer to boost how much power it can input and output, and then ports and a frame, and I just built it out of structural glass. But yeah, the half the cells are now auto crafting. It is probably going to take quite a bit of time, so I don't think I'll get to actually building this episode, but hopefully I can have it ready, have it like at least partially functional with half the cells beginning of next episode. But yeah, it's just like gonna take a few hours to craft all this alloy and stuff. I did come down here and boost this setup a bit. So originally we just had like one of each of these infusing factories, but now I have the system pump into a chest, and then the chest distributes it across all these infusing factories, which seem to be lacking some redstone, so I might need to increase that throughput. But yeah, I'm just gonna let this craft in the background for now. It'll take a few hours, so I don't think we'll get to it this episode. But thanks for watching, guys. It was a lot of just kind of getting some basic resources that we haven't gotten to yet in this episode, but I'm pretty excited about the potential this is starting to give us. And I'm thinking in the next few episodes we can start like working towards all the modium and stuff like that. All right, bye.